out the first round of the 2022 Revo ACU British Motocross Championship, the fastest national championship in this country. How would you guys like to see the two-stroke legend Neville Bradshaw race his 2005 RM250 two-stroke up against a full field of modern 254 strokes? I think I know the answer. We've seen Neville Bradshaw do some heroic things on board a two-stroke dirt bike, and for his next adventure he has teamed up with Jeff Walker and the SR75 Suzuki team to keep those good vibes alive. In this video, Nev will be lining up on a 17-year-old machine to take on some of the fastest MX2 riders in the world.
Yeah, so we're here at the first round of the British Championship at Culham, riding a 2005 RM250. Jeff's just trying to do like some cool stuff this year, and he wanted me to race this race, and he said about a 450, but I'm not really keen to race 450s at this level anymore, so I said, why don't you build up an RM250 two-stroke? That'll be like quite fun, you know, to kind of race an old bike against all the kids, and yeah, so we've done it. We're here. We've just had qualifying. I've finished 14th in qualifying, so pretty stoked on that. Like a second will bring you all the way up to like 6th, so quite close on times. So yeah, just here for fun times really.
Basically, in true SR75 Suzuki style, and everything we're all about, Nev came up with a cunning plan that we could build some beautiful machines and come to the first round of the Revo ACU British Championship and have a lot of fun. So here we are, having a lot of fun on 17-year-old motorcycles.
So I only rode it for about 15 minutes on Thursday afternoon. We managed to get a bit of riding, so I'm still actually learning the bike, but obviously the Suzukis are known for turning. It turns really good. The power's a little bit different. It's like a lot more of a torquey engine, so like you really got to feed it gears. The more I ride it, the more I get comfortable. I think the biggest thing around here will just be a start, you know, like starts will be pretty gnarly here, and the track's quite, it's deep, so it's quite one line, so, but you know, the result, it doesn't really matter, just yeah, good times to give people something to watch.
This build is on a 2005 RM250 two-stroke. It was a build I done, and then I've redone the build since this sort of came around, so it's been a pretty flat-out situation, but a massive amount of help from Suzuki GB and the guys at Genuine Parts getting stuff from Japan and Germany and all over the world. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's been a lot of work and a few late nights, but yeah, it's perfect. It's absolutely the best fun we can have.
If you put it into perspective that we're here on a 17-year-old 252 stroke, you know, I think the last guy to kind of race one at a good level was Tana Leok back in 04. That was a long time ago, you know, and just shows you know, like literally I rode the bike for 15 minutes, jumped on it, you know, like I work full time, and to be able to qualify in the top 15 against the country's best on a 50-year-old bike is pretty cool. You know, I think it shows people, you know, the bikes, you know, obviously the bikes have improved, but you know, the bikes back in those days were awesome bikes, and the two-stroke is still quite competitive.
Without doubt, this will be a difficult task for the team, but Jeff has definitely recruited the best man for the job.
He's just an absolute consummate professional, great dude to have around. He puts the work in, no stress, appreciates absolutely everything, and I would go to the end with him. He is brilliant.
Like we said, Nev has achieved some great things on board his two-strokes and defied the odds many times over. But this might just be his greatest challenge yet. So here we are, Cullen Park MX2 class getting ready for their first gate drop of the season. And it looks like Isaac Gifting with a flying start. Jamie Lawson, a rider goes down there. And Neville Bradshaw sweeps around the outside on that 17-year-old RM252 stroke. He's up there in the top 10, so a great start for the South African veteran here. Once again, Bradshaw using those wide two-stroke lines, battling through the pack, fighting and clawing for every position here. At the front of the field, it's Conrad Muse and Isaac Gifting, two of the fastest MX2 racers in the world. And then the rest of the pack fights furiously over the remaining top 10 positions. And Neville Bradshaw making that RM250, seeing that bike older than some of the riders in this class. Bradshaw is old enough to be the dad of some of these riders in this class. So great stuff from Neville Bradshaw. He's on the rear wheel of Jamie Law, a fellow two-stroke hero. Law riding the modern Husky 252 stroke there. Meanwhile, Bradshaw defending desperately against young Carl McNichol here on the Verde Sports KTM. Bar to bar over the tailtop. Bradshaw is battling for every position here. No rest for the wicked at Cullen Park. Deep conditions here today. Bradshaw continues to fight on, and he has Jamie Law in his sights once again. Our two-stroke heroes going at it here in Moto number 1. Now Neville Bradshaw goes on the gas, on the pipe. Now defending the attacking Sam Nunn on his YZ250. Into the S-bend they go. Bar to bar, looks like Sam Nunn tries to make the pass, but Bradshaw once again battling for every position. This is what we love to see here. And now Bradshaw has the number 82 of Charlie Cole all over his rear wheel, being hounded by the Kawasaki rider. He loses the position to Cole there. How can Bradshaw respond? Let's see if he can respond. The veteran racer. A mistake from Cole at the top of the hill allows Bradshaw to make that pass, regain that position. That's the veteran racecraft of Neville Bradshaw coming into play here in these deep and tricky conditions at Cullen Park this weekend. And with just a handful of laps to go, Bradshaw continues to fight for a top 10 spot. This is awesome. This is amazing stuff from Neville Bradshaw and that 17-year-old RM250. They said at the start of the day a top 10 result would be like a win. And so far so good for Neville Bradshaw and the SR75 Suzuki. To the final dying moments of the race, Bradshaw continues to fight. He's got Taylor Hamill all over his rear wheel now on the Steve Dixon Kawasaki. But Bradshaw continues to fight despite the rain, despite the pressure. Bradshaw crosses the line for an emphatic 9th place finish in Moto number 1. What a result for Bradshaw, and what a result for that RM250. Ninth place in the fastest MX2 championship in all the land. We'd say that's a pretty good result for Nev and the team.
Yeah, I rode so bad though, man. I rode terrible. Like after 4 laps, my arms are gone, and I just had to hustle it through. So I think the next one will be better.
Absolutely amazing. Amazing. Brilliant start. Racing with kids. God, third of his age, just amazing. I've never seen anything like it. It added a bit of excitement and interest. Yeah, fantastic.
Buzzing, absolutely buzzing. That was incredible. That is a man getting a result every lap, just giving it. Oh, that was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. With the little machine, he was loving it. First start he has done on that motorcycle. Top 10. Yes, yes.
We're ready for the final moto of the day for the MX2 class. Who's going to grab this last hole shot? The gates have dropped and the riders bar to bar, wheel to wheel into the first corner. Looks like Gifting with a flying start once again. Meanwhile, Neville Bradshaw buried in the mid-pack on that RM250. He's got some work to do in this one, but he avoids carnage on turn 2. Once again using that veteran racecraft to keep it on 2 wheels. But like we said, work to do for Bradshaw this time. Once again it's Gifting and Conrad Muse leading the pack, stretching away from the rest of the field. Then we've got the remainder of the top 15, wheel to wheel to wheel. This is going to be a furious battle for these top 15 spots. And there goes Neville Bradshaw once again using those 2-stroke lines. Engrossed in a fierce battle with Howard Wainwright early in this one. Listen to that RM250 sing, the 17-year-old machine. Being piloted by the veteran racer. Bradshaw giving the crowd here at Cullen something to really cheer about this weekend. And he's just stuck in a battle all the way through this moto. There is no rest for Bradshaw. He's fighting for a top 15 position in Moto 2 around this tough and gnarly Cullen Park circuit. Bradshaw continues to fight lap after lap on board that 2-stroke Suzuki. bar to bar with Harold Wainwright on that Yamaha. They go back and forwards throughout this race. Awesome battling for these top 15 positions. And Bradshaw going up the inside of Callum Mitchell on the 32 machine. Another fiercely fought battle between those two riders. The fight for Bradshaw continues as he's trying to hold on to a top 15 position. There's a chain of riders from 6th all the way back to 15th. Bradshaw right in the mix of that battle, right in the mix of that fight. This is awesome stuff, awesome to see. Awesome to see the veteran racer showing his worth with the young guns, the young kids, and showing us the might of that RM250. Not only does she look good, she sounds good, and she races good too. And once again, Bradshaw fighting until the very dying moments of this race. He knows every position counts and he's not giving anything up easily. And as the race started, it will end. Bradshaw battling with Howard Wainwright until the very last moments of this race. And after an extremely hard-fought moto, Bradshaw hangs on to 14th position. Another great ride for him and another great performance from the 17-year-old RM250. I'm sure Nev and the team will be pumped with those results.
That's a wrap on today. Revo, British Motocross Championship, round 1 at Cullum. We have had the best day ever. Absolutely superb. Nev's been unbelievable. The bikes have been unbelievable. The support from everyone. We've had so many people come to see us. And loving the Suzuki angle, loving the brand, loving everything about what's happened. So Nev has just give it his absolute maximum, both motos, as you expect from that man, and come away with 2 brilliant results, way beyond anything we could have hoped for. It's what we would love, obviously, but he's just stepped it up, and it was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. What a day!
Yeah, I think overall it was a good day. It was a tough day, like racing. I think racing this MX2 class in the British Championship, that's one thing you can say, is it is tough. You know, like with the first moto finished 9th, you race as hard as you can. In the second moto, like there was a train from like 7th to 15th. I was in 13th, 12th, 13th for most of it and finished 14th, but you just race as hard as you can the whole way through, you know, so it's pretty intense. But no, I think it's good, you know, like obviously when you've raced before, you're never really stoked on a 14th place finish, but then when you put into perspective what it is, the people you're racing, the people that finished behind me, you know, like I literally rode this bike once on Thursday for 15 minutes and then, you know, raced it and finished somewhere around the top 10 in the quickest series in the country in the MX2 class against, you know, young kids. Obviously I could be some of their dads, you know, like this bike is as old as some of them are, you know, the 17, 16, 17-year-old kids. This bike is 17 years old, so when you put it into perspective like that, I think it's pretty rad. You know, I said coming in, when you said this morning, I said like getting 1 top 10 a day would be like winning a race for me, and we did that in the first one, so I was stoked. The second one was a good race, like I fought hard in the second one, I rode good in the second one. I found like a nice rhythm, and you know, I caught the group that was up to about 7th place, but just couldn't really make passes on 1 or 2 guys, and it kind of messed the rhythm up. But yeah, good pace, and you know, crazy to think my first British Championship was in 2004, and what are we, 18 years later, we're still here, you know, I managed a top 10 finish. You know, that's pretty cool. Like the vibe is cool. That's one thing that I need in my life, is I'm only going to race if there's a cool vibe, and Jeff does an awesome job at that. He makes me want to come to the races. I already need a good atmosphere to be around the races, and Jeff definitely provides that. Like you can see how he built this old bike, you know, this is a 2005 model bike and it looks like a brand new bike, you know, so a lot of money, a lot of time has got into that, so I really appreciate that, and I hope I've given him enough back. I think, you know, all the people I've passed in the paddock was so stoked on seeing an old RM250 out there racing with all the young kids, you know, so we definitely achieved that. The fun level, I would say, it was high, but it's hard, you know. It's, you know, like, you know, sometimes you get into a flow and you really enjoy the racing. This is hard work. I couldn't put my body through it too many times. I think definitely now I'm at the age where I don't want to ride to 100%. Like if I can go, say, AMTA racing or Evo racing or 125 racing where 85-90% is good enough to be like in the top 3, then that's the sort of stuff I'll be racing, you know, like where I work full time and stuff. You're never going to be able to put the time in to race with these kids. But no, cool, like sweet. Like I've actually, I was saying to my wife, I've had worse results when I was a professional racer at the first round of the British Championships, so that's saying something.
Neville Bradshaw has done some legendary things in his time. And with the help of Jeff and the SR75 team, the legend of Neville Bradshaw continues to live on and grow in 2022. Click here if you want to watch more of Nev's antics. And remember to like, share and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. As always, my name is Max. This is 999 Laser. I'll see you next time.